You're on the road beyond. Welcome. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we're coming to you from the HCC TV studios today. My co-host Doug O'Brien joining me, and we've got a packed show.
I know there's a lot going on. Welcome. Don't forget, you can like, share, follow the show. You can find us on all social media at the Road Beyond Podcast. Real quick, I went to my first quinceañera.
Oh, wow. How was that?
Yeah. It was long.
Long.
Yeah, it was long. It was fun, but it was long. Yeah. But today we are really venturing out there.
We've got a lot to talk about and a lot of great stories we're going to be covering in a short amount of time. So you don't want to go anywhere. But let's start with one right now. Let's dive right into it. We're going to start with a discovery that may literally rewrite the history of the Earth as we know it. Buried deep beneath more than a mile of solid Antarctic ice, scientists have discovered what they're calling now a lost world frozen in time for more than 30 million years.
So basically, we're talking the bottom of the Earth.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking a whole possible another civilization. A team of international researchers has unearthed a prehistoric landscape, which is pretty fascinating, untouched since the dawn of modern mammals and possibly filled with secrets no human has ever seen.
Now, beneath this vast icy expanse lies something out of a science fiction film, a preserved world dating back to the Oligocene Epoch, a time when Antarctica was not covered by ice, but by forests, flowing rivers, and perhaps even ancient wildlife. Researchers drilling through the Arctic ice sheet were stunned when core samples revealed layers of ancient soil, pollen, and plant material, evidence of a thriving temperate ecosystem sealed off from time.
Researchers are saying this is like opening up a time capsule, claiming that what we're seeing down there may be a snapshot of what life was like on Earth over 30 million years ago, and it's been locked away in total darkness ever since.
Now, it's a discovery raising profound questions, not just about the ancient past, but also about our planet's future. Antarctica today is one of the coldest, most lifeless forms or regions on Earth, but this finding confirms it wasn't always that way. Once it may have been lush, even tropical.
That's unbelievable when you really think about it. The implications are massive. Scientists believe that the lost world may hold clues about Earth's climate systems, the extinction cycles, even how the continents evolved over time. It also adds weight to the growing theory that rapid changes in the planet's atmosphere, including greenhouse gas fluctuations, may have caused Antarctica's dramatic freeze. One scientist even said, we're not just digging into the past, we're looking at a potential blueprint for what might happen to us or what has already happened before.
Boy, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
And here's where things even get more intriguing. Some researchers are floating the possibility that preserved microorganisms or even more complex forms of ancient life may be lying dormant beneath the ice. Let's bring him back to life. What could go on there, right?
Exactly. Have they not seen John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982 series?
Take a look at the new Jurassic Park movie. It's coming out soon.
There's another one, right? Yeah. It's a bold idea, but not without precedent. In 2014, scientists actually revived bacteria from 750,000 years ago in Antarctic ice. So what could be hidden in a world 4 times that age is fascinating to think about.
We could have like killer ancient penguins that are laying beneath the ice, just waiting to be reanimated. What can go wrong?
I think I saw that movie on TNT.
Exactly.
Killer penguins.
Yeah. It was called Penguinado.
But think about it. We, much like when we go to other places, I'm thinking of the island. I want to say it's near India, where civilization has not been.
Right.
We're talking about bringing diseases there.
Yeah.
We're going to unleash diseases that we have not faced in I mean, God knows how long.
Once again, what could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
Yeah. Take a look at some movies. Another crazy story, but it's been out there floating around in the space, I should say, for the last few years. We'll revisit one of the strangest objects ever to enter our solar system. We're talking about the interstellar visitor known as Oumuamua.
Oumuamua, what a fantastic name.
It was first spotted in 2017 by astronomers in Hawaii. Oumuamua, which means more or less messenger in Hawaiian, didn't behave like any comet or asteroid we've ever seen. It came from outside of our solar system, moved incredibly fast, and most baffling of all, it sped up as it passed the sun.
Which it shouldn't do.
Yeah,
In theory, right? Even
Why?
comets
What would
don't
promote
do
it
that.
faster?
Get this, it didn't have a tail. There are no visible gases or dust. So the real question is, how did it accelerate? Now, according to Avi Loeb, the mystery that some scientists have figured out, he's a Harvard scientist, believes it may have been artificial, possibly a solar sail, a thin structure powered by starlight that actually helped to propel this. And that means, yes, it could have been sent by another civilization, alien technology.
Yeah, it's a crazy, bold theory, but that's why we're here. That's why we have a show. But Loeb argues that no natural objects behave quite like Oumuamua in shape, motion, and acceleration. It all just doesn't add up.
Some scientists do have I guess we call it a natural theory, right? They're claiming that it could be a hydrogen iceberg or hydrogen trapped within Oumuamua, and that a frozen chunk of the gas of hydrogen melted as it got closer to the sun. Therefore, it just released. It's giving me horrible images. We're basically talking about an asteroid fart that propelled it forward, right? So that's what they're thinking, that it warmed near the sun. The only problem with this theory is that if it is basically frozen hydrogen,
why didn't it melt?
up.
Yeah,
right.
why did it melt before it reached the sun?
It's very unusual, but now it doesn't matter. It's already outside of our solar system. If I'm not mistaken, it's approaching the constellation of Pegasus.
Yeah, they're in for it next. Now, in 2024, a new theory emerged, that Oumuamua could be a fragment of an exoplanet, meaning it was ejected, blasted into space by a cosmic collision. Sounds logical, right? That might explain its odd shape and tumbling spin, but not the mysterious speed boost. I mean, if it is an alien spaceship, that's a pretty bad spaceship. I mean, it's not aesthetically pleasing.
Look,
I wouldn't find it in any movies,
You figure even aliens have a Pinto, right?
Everybody. So you're saying this is a Pinto.
Like
that's pretty damn impressive. I'm waiting to see when they get like something better than a Pinto out there.
Here's the truth. We don't know.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
We may never know because Oumuamua was, like I said, already leaving our solar system by the time that we found it. So no spacecraft at this time can catch up to it.
So what are we going to do next? This is great. The mystery has changed everything because space agencies now, not as if we have enough problems going on Earth, they're working on missions that could intercept the next interstellar object, because scientists agree there will be more.
Right. So next time we'll be ready.
We'll catch it.
The idea.
They're building a huge baseball glove is one of the theories.
A giant baseball glove.
Pretty much, yeah.
Look, this is how I heard Earth described, the way aliens would look at it, and it's actually
roll up the windows.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah. Roll up the windows.
We are the planet that when aliens go by, they roll up the windows, lock their doors.
We have better looking spaceships.
That's true.
They're imaginary.
Ours do look nice,
but they're better looking. Now, whether it was alien, natural, or something in between, Oumuamua was a cosmic message that we're not alone in the universe, folks. We all know that. That's why you're watching this show. At least in the terms of visitors.
Yes, stay curious, stay weird, and we'll have more space stories coming at the Road Beyond podcast. And don't forget, you can always find us on our social media sites at the Road Beyond podcast. I was going to put that in there.
You can. Now, I was always hoping this Oumuamua thing was an alien spaceship. And I was really hoping we had something there.
But if it is, why haven't they tried to contact us? They have checked
They could just be passing by, and like you said, don't say anything. Roll up the windows and everyone hide and be quiet.
Slow down. Don't notice
an asteroid going through. Everybody just mums the word.
But researchers, I believe for 4 years, actually studied it. They tried to check for radio signals. They got absolutely nothing. But then again, if it is just a hunk of rock, Why did it speed up? It's
Yeah,
acting
that
very
it makes
unusual.
no sense. But then again, aliens have different technology. I'm
True.
sure than we're used. But we do have a great story we're going to cover next week. It's about a signal that's been coming from outer space, and it
Yes.
comes in certain transmissions that this just isn't natural. We're going to be covering that on the show next week.
That'll be great. So stick around. We've got more to come.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to the Road Beyond podcast. Don't forget, you can like, follow, and share. We're on all the social media sites, and we're easy to find. Just look up right there. It says the Road Beyond podcast.
This next story, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. I mean, this is a wild theory. This is some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I knew about the Mandela effect, but
Yeah.
this was the first time I had heard of the 1988 anomaly
ties it
theory.
back. Yeah, so it's strange. Stay with us. There will be some references to Star Wars and possibly risky business coming up. You'll see why in a second. One of the strangest theories you've probably ever heard of. It's called the 1988 anomaly theory, and some say it's the reason you remember things that really never happened, or at least not in this version of reality.
Yes, that is why we have so many Mandela effects. Right here is one. You see, if you remember the Monopoly man with
Where's the monocle?
Right, everybody remembers the monocle. Or the Nelson Mandela died in prison, which he did not.
Right.
That is why it's called a Mandela effect. You're already part of this big mystery because according to a growing number of theories, 1988 wasn't just another year, it was a glitch. A glitch in the time continuum.
Right.
Some say our timeline may have even ended and we are in an alternate dimension. See, look at that.
There you go. Like
There's
a glitch.
proof of it
just
right
like
there.
that.
We start talking about it, and this is what
There's nothing wrong with your TV stats. Now, this started as a whisper on message boards. Follow me on this, okay? Even in the early 2000s, people recalling logos, movie quotes, even historical events differently. They called it the Mandela effect, named after the widespread false memories of Nelson Mandela dying in the 80s. But in the late 2010s, a more focused theory emerged that many of these false memories that many of us have may have been something that traced back to a single point, the year 1988.
Which is why it has been labeled the 1988 anomaly theory, and it claims that something happened in that year 1988, it caused a moment at ripple in time, basically, is the theory, a split in our collective reality. That's why obviously more than one of us remember it. It's one thing if just one person does it.
But a lot of us are remembering.
Absolutely.
And we're going to get to even some more bizarre stuff. But some are saying this is caused by a physics experiment, a data loss event during early particle acceleration tests. You remember those? Others point to a global computer error, a data corruption in early internet routing that spread like a digital virus through shared information and maybe through consciousness itself. Mind blown.
There are also those who believe it was a cosmic event, a near-Earth quantum event that possibly even a momentary collision of parallel timelines caused by a solar burst, a gravity wave, or something else. It gets weird.
Yeah, proponents claim that in or around 1988, the timeline may have shifted subtly. Not enough to rewrite the laws of physics, but enough to create mismatches of memory, media, and shared history.
That is just nuts to think that it could happen to all of us. That is a timeline shift.
Well, here's one of the biggest examples. You remember Luke, I am your father from Star Wars?
Yeah.
No, well, the line actually is, no, I am your father.
Yes.
He never says Luke.
There's also the Berenstain Bears. How do you remember it?
I remember it as Berenstain.
I remember Berenstain. Like
They're
it's weird.
Berenstain.
Yeah,
Berenstain
that
Bears.
is not what
Yeah.
I remember. I do not remember that. This is why we have these typos, many believe, is because of this anomaly theory and memory lapses. And it's millions of people that believe that this has happened to them, that we all remember things differently. It's across cultures, it's across continents. The real question is why? And one idea is that our minds are synced to multiple versions of reality, some more dominant than others. And 1988, they say, was the year something broke or branched.
So why did this happen? Well, here are some other theories, which adds to fuel to the theory that 1988 saw a convergence of weirdness, a sudden spike in satellite malfunctions, the launch of the first global positioning prototype, strange fluctuations in atomic clocks in both the US and the Soviet Union, and the infamous Phantom Channel incident in the UK, where a shortwave broadcast aired what sounded like a reversed human voice repeating, "This is not your time." That's scary as hell.
That will freak you out. Can you imagine?
Go to bed. It's not your time.
You come back from the pub in the UK and you hear that. It's creepy, but it sounds like a Netflix pitch. But people who have tracked the Mandela effect say that the 1988 anomaly shows up over and over again in strange and unexplainable ways.
We're going to show you a few of those in a second, but could this all be a coincidence, or are we chasing shadows in a fractured reality like we're living in the Matrix?
You know, a fractured reality would explain a lot in my life, I'll be very honest, but either way, the theory is gaining momentum. Some researchers are even scanning archived TV, radio, and digital signals from 1988, looking for evidence of disruption or clues as to exactly what changed.
Whatever happened that year, one thing's for sure, that the world that came after just doesn't feel quite the same. And you were thinking of some of these Mandela effect, which was mind-blowing to me, because I was like, yeah, that happened.
All right. Do you remember Snow White?
Yeah.
Okay. Mirror, mirror on the wall?
Yeah.
That is not it.
It's mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Magic mirror.
Wow.
On the wall. Welcome to the Mandela effect.
Did we get mirror, mirror?
I don't know.
Because that's like,
that's what I thought it was too.
Yeah.
Do you remember Sinbad the comedian?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in a movie, Shazam. Do you remember this? It never existed. There was never a movie with Sinbad as Shazam. There is, I believe, Shaq in a movie.
Yeah, I knew that.
Never Sinbad.
Wow.
I remember the Sinbad.
Yes,
I swear.
yes. Okay.
A couple others. Risky Business.
That's the one I was.
Tom Cruise. Remember when Tom Cruise comes sliding into the living room? He's wearing the button-down shirt and his underwear.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers him wearing sunglasses. He is not. There are no sunglasses. I think
it was in the poster.
It's in the poster, so therefore I think we remember it. And then a music one, Queen, We Are the Champions. Everybody seems to think, or a lot of people seem to think, they sing at the end, "We are the champions of the world."
Right.
In the recording, he does not. It just ends with, "We are the champions."
Is the live version of
the live version,
which I had the live killers?
Yes, the live version, he does sing "of the world" and does it in many. So that one is at least explainable.
Yeah,
but
you got a live version that took over the reality of the regular version.
There are many others. Looney Tunes we talked about before the show.
Well, we talked about it before the show, but the reality is Looney Tunes is with a T-O-O-N.
Yeah, because it's a cartoon. So
but you think it's T-U-N-E-S.
Right.
I always thought it was T-U-N.
There are so many, and some of them make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, I saw, is another one that some people thought it was Chick, C-H-I-C, then dash, or C-H-I-K. It's not. It's actually Chick as in chicken, C-H-I-C-K.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are a lot of these around, and a lot of people think it goes back to this anomaly theory that something just
ironically, the Mandela effect itself. I never remembered that theory that he died in prison, because I guess because I was older at that time.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but everything else connected to this and the other theories, like we've just gone over and many more, I bought into those.
E.T. phone home.
Yeah.
That is not what he says. He says both in the movie, but at first he says E.T. home phone.
He never says E.T.
Later he does say the other. I was looking up here. Kit Kat. Do you remember Kit Kat with a hyphen?
Yes.
No, there's no hyphen. Yeah, it's just Kit Kat. Pikachu, more recent.
Yeah.
The tail, many remember a black tip on Pikachu's tail. No, it's just solid yellow.
I never.
There are
know
so
it.
many of these.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. Oh, Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
A lot of people remember the man standing in front of the tank being run over by the tank.
No, I remember. I
Never
watched
happened.
that live
Me too.
when it
Me
happened. I
too.
saw it actually live. I think it was on CNN.
But that's just a
Yeah.
few of them, and
Wow.
it's just unbelievable. And
we thought he was going to get run over at that point. I was waiting,
Now,
thinking that this is going to go really bad.
He did disappear after that.
Well,
I believe
what I heard when the cameras were turned off and the media was not allowed in, that's when they cleared out the square.
Yeah.
However they were going to do it,
Yeah.
that's what they did. And I heard that happen.
But 1988, I think I have figured out the anomaly and the split. That's when I got married.
Oh, well, that's really close.
Yeah, I'm no longer married.
That really screwed up all
I
of our
think
time
that was it.
continuums there. All right. Speaking of crazy stuff, we're going to be taking a look at your favorite coming up next.
Bare necessities. Love this.
All right. We'll be back after this.
But everything looks clear. No ugly white spots in there.
All gone.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
Welcome back to the Road Beyond podcast.
Time for my favorite thing, bare necessities. You're going to love these.
Yeah, you found a bunch of these.
Yeah.
One of them, when you go to a supermarket in South Africa, you might expect to find all types of things. Apparently, lions do as well. Take a look at this next video. Normal shopping in South America or in South Africa. Would you ever think you'd walk in there and find a lion just picking out his dinner and then deciding to have it in-store dining?
I'm just thinking of that first person that ran off.
Yeah,
Can
like
you imagine? You turn
not
the
today.
aisle. Look,
Not
look,
today, Satan.
right there. What
Oh,
does
then he shows up with like a glass wall. Like that's going to help.
Well, look, the stuff has to get restocked.
Yeah.
Lion, no lion.
Does he know there's a
You gotta
restocking
restock.
fee?
Here's
You
the
know?
thing, though. When you think about it, what the lion is doing is what we've done. We went from hunting and everything to going to the grocery store.
Yeah,
The
picking it
lion
up.
knows it's there, right?
Someone let him know there's curbside delivery nowadays. You don't even need to go in the store.
Wait till he finds the ice cream aisle.
Yeah, see how that's
gonna
going to go.
Fatten up and just be there forever.
One thing we've been watching over the past few weeks, and it's kind of taken over the internet, and you've seen these too.
I love these.
These are, it's hard to describe. There's Bigfoot and Yeti, and they have these characters who are portrayed with AI.
Yep.
Here, most of them we cannot air without bleeping them. This next one we can. It's about 10 seconds long. Take a listen to this.
What's up, TikTok? I found this thing that I see humans ride all the time, so let's try it.
Now, this is one of the more tamer ones. Most of them use a little off-color language, some references, and for some reason, Bigfoot seems to have a cocaine addiction.
Yes.
Because about half of them involve him finding cocaine.
Yes. If you picture a Bigfoot or Yeti, and if they were a modern Gen Z with a vlog, right?
Right.
Talking about finding huzzes, if you know what that
Huzzes,
slang
yeah,
means. Getting high
Yeah.
and just hanging out. Some of it is so bizarre. I did find some where it's like a gorilla in Houston, but again, a lot of the language we can't use. But
there have been several of them which have been in
fun.
Houston, but some of the funny ones initially, and I think they must have got bad feedback on this, but Bigfoot would find a dog in the woods or a cat. And he's like, this is my new best friend, Spot. And then the next cutaway would be him like roasting some meat. And he goes, well, I got tired of Spot. It's time to eat.
Yeah.
You know, and he was eating them, you know.
They've made him a little more on the club scene.
Yeah, they've kind of changed it a bit. Now Bigfoot apparently just chases women and looks for drugs.
Yeah,
he looks for drugs.
Always getting stoned, chasing women. Oh, and eating magic mushrooms.
It was
That's
weird.
another
Did you
one.
see? You sent me the one. Bigfoot actually went to Greenspoint Mall.
Yes.
That one's out there, and he like broke into Greenspoint Mall. You got to find these videos. Once you find one, the algorithm will hook onto you, and you'll get them all. But they're actually pretty good.
The one where he's in Greenspoint Mall, I think there's it's either a ghost or a person living.
He sees a person in there,
Greenspoint Mall.
which is
scares
Thoroughly-
him, and he runs out.
Yeah,
you know.
thoroughly understandable
Yeah,
living in the Houston area.
This next is what all of us need: a dog like this.
We've had dogs we've shown over the past few weeks. One of them, they actually is proven. He's been taught to drive a car.
Yep.
One of them looked like he was mowing the lawn. I wasn't buying that.
I see. I'm still fascinated. You buy him driving a car, but
Yes,
not mowing
absolutely.
the lawn.
Absolutely.
I do not understand how you think that's more difficult.
I'm just telling you, I bought the dog driving a car. The one sitting on the lawnmower just looked like somebody stuck their dog on the lawnmower and took a picture of it while it was on the lawn.
All I know is the lawn got mowed.
The lawn got mowed
Right,
one way or
so-
another. Yeah.
But this one is
Yeah.
totally different. If you need help around your house,
Get this dog.
yes.
Take a look at this one. So she's leaving for the day. Dog's like, time for me to go to work. Dog gets in the bed, starts making the bed, puts
Now I
the
believe
pillows up.
this is an Australian Shepherd, isn't it? They're
And
supposed to be so smart.
Well, obviously so. I mean, the dog here's putting his food away,
Look at
putting
that.
everything up, time to, and he looks like how he looks around the room like, oh man, this is gonna be a pain.
Well, he's like, why can't people pick up
Exactly.
themselves?
Well, they got the dog. That's why.
But he doesn't
starts-
he doesn't just pick up the laundry.
No, he's gonna take it and go do the
He
laundry.
actually is going
Yeah.
to do the laundry.
Opens it up, starts putting the laundry in. Now, one thing I don't buy, I don't think you could teach dogs the concept of temperature change.
No,
So they wouldn't be able to. So I'd want to put everything on a cold cycle.
he also didn't
Yeah.
put in the detergent.
No,
so
no, yeah.
that's another.
Maybe they had that in there
But
already.
still, what he's doing is impressive. Cleaning
He's
up,
loading
doing
this
the
up,
dishwasher,
And he's not done because it's time to get the recycle out there.
takes the trash and
Yep,
the recycling. Now
he's
he's
still not done. And I think he's going to
crazy.
vacuum soon too.
Yep. Here you
There
go.
you go. There's your vacuuming.
Now,
And-
do you buy this? Do you buy this dog doing all these things and waiting for their
I
person to
think
come?
they taught the dog to do these tricks, but I have no idea that the dog really knows what the heck he's doing. The only one I bought, folks, was the dog driving the car.
Which again,
That's the
still don't-
only one I bought.
that. Okay,
That dog was
I
doing
don't get
tricks
it.
around the house. He doesn't know. The dog driving the car, I bought that
okay.
one. He looked,
the dog
that
doing
seemed
the
logical.
laundry and everything makes sense. He
Yeah.
knows he's going to get a treat, and I'm guessing
There
it's
was
like-
nobody around to get a treat.
Well, no, she came back home.
Yeah, well, she came back home
I'm
after everything
sure,
was done.
you know, but I figure you're probably similar to that. It's like,
Hey, if I could train, I've got 4 of them around my house. The only thing they're good at is sleeping and going to the bathroom.
think of everything they could do: drive you to work. They can
I'd
mow
be-
the lawn, take care of things.
I told you a few weeks ago that we need to look in. We're doing this all wrong. We need to look in. Forget about AI. Forget about the robots that Elon's making.
Yeah.
Let's start. We've got dogs everywhere that are needing to be trained to do our work for us.
But not every dog is as smart as that dog. I mean, Jacqueline and I had a dog that I think he was broken half the time. He got to where he would run into walls.
You hear
Like-
those dogs that they kind of just need to be rebooted.
Yes,
You kinda
that
flip. Here, if you flip them over.
that was
Yeah.
that was her dog, and that's exactly what needed to be happen.
Yeah.
And needed to be happen. That was great
Needed to
grammar
happen,
there.
yeah,
But yeah, he was a special one. Yeah, not in that kind of way.
But you're
either.
saying he wouldn't be a candidate for driving,
the best? No, the best would
but
be.
he could sit on a lawnmower while somebody else.
No, he
controls it.
couldn't even do that. But if I could have attached a broomstick to him,
Yeah.
I could have dusted the floor because he was
That would
he
have
was
been-
real
yeah.
shaggy. That's about it.
Well, I mean, I just think we're going about it wrong. We need to start training our animals. I mean, look, it worked very well for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, but we do have a lot of animals in shelters and
Yeah.
things, so that would give them a
Put it to
purpose.
work.
And yeah,
Dogs like to work
okay.
when you get them going. they like
That is going to be the next, instead of Planet of the Apes, Planet of the Dogs, where they revolt.
They revolt and they attack.
They
You could have something
they
there
get
too.
smarter
Could have some. Let's reboot Planet of the Apes
with dogs.
with dogs. I'm just telling
They
you.
can't do any worse than we
We have already.
So yeah.
Oh well.
So next week,
yeah.
what do we have going on?
Next week, we're going to be talking about a signal that's been blasting the Earth, and many are saying this is an alien signal. It's a certain frequency of it, and we'll dig into that subject.
Is this
next week
part
more.
of the oh wow signal?
No.
Okay,
no,
that's
totally
different.
This
It-
started appearing not that long ago.
Okay, if you don't know what the oh wow signal is,
Yeah.
they found a blip and they actually
He wrote,
on
"Wow."
the paper
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
and it never happened again. And the people at SETI, they tried
Yeah.
very hard to find it again and couldn't. So this is something totally
It's
new.
something totally different,
Okay.
and we're going to cover it on next week.
Fantastic.
We're out of time. Thanks for being here this week.
Make sure you like, follow, and share at the Road Beyond podcast. I'm Doug O'Brien.
And I'm Todd Duplantis. We'll see you next time.
Have a great week.